Salad dressings are absolutely full of fascinating mathematical problems. So let's make a salad dressing. Here's a glass to make it in. We start with some vinegar. This is balsamic for the colour. Now we'll add some salt. And the question of how a solid dissolves in a liquid is itself a very interesting set of mathematical models and questions, and then how it turns back into a solid even more so. So now we add some oil, the other crucial ingredient, and we want about 3 parts of oil to 1 part of vinegar. So you start off with oil floating on top of vinegar because the oil is lighter than the vinegar, with a more or less flat interface except at the edges. Then we whisk it around, and what that does is it stretches that interface out, and it makes it much more complicated so that it can break the vinegar up into little small droplets. And when you do that, what you're doing is you're putting energy into that surface, and it doesn't like that. It wants to minimize its energy. It wants to go for a minimal energy configuration called a minimal surface, and in this case that means it wants to put the vinegar into lots of little spherical droplets, which then start sinking because they are heavier than the oil. And there's a formula for how fast they sink. It's proportional to the square of their radius. So eventually, if you have 2 large droplets, they will all sink to the bottom and your dressing will separate out again, which is not what you want on a nice salad. So there's a cure for this, and it works by adding a little bit of mustard. This is a kind of win-win cure actually, because not only does it taste great, the mustard is what they call a surfactant, and that means it changes the surface energy, the energy that it takes to make this surface between the oil and vinegar, and it makes it smaller. Your large spherical drops become much less stable, so it's easier to break them up as you're whisking and to make them into much smaller spherical drops. And so you can end up with a salad dressing, an emulsion, which is made up of really tiny drops of vinegar inside your suspension in the oil. You can feel the mixture becoming a little bit stiffer, a little bit harder to beat, a little bit thicker, and at that point your salad dressing is ready. So the last thing we do is we just add our salad dressing to the salad, and there you are, yummy salad with added mathematics.